Good morning all. Welcome to the lecture of complex analysis. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. आवाज येते ना माझा?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So in last lecture we have seen what is the Lorentz series development, and there is one result depending on this one. That one is nothing but it. First, let us see. Okay. So we have seen this result. That is, if z equal to a be an isolated singularity of a function f and f of z is nothing but series n running from minus infinity to infinity a n z minus a to the power n, be its Lorentz series expansion in annulus of a with radius 0 and r. It means it is a region in between the circle with having center will be a and radius will be 0 to the circle with having center will be a and radius will be r. Okay, that is okay. So in that region, z equal to a be a removable singularity of a function f whenever its singular part contains no term. That is, z equal to a is a removable singularity if and only if a n equal to 0 whenever n is less equal by minus 1. For less equal by minus 1, this part is nothing but the singular part, which is also called as a principal part, and that one we have seen in last lecture. Now in today we have to see these two results. That is, if z equal to a is a pole of order m, then we have to prove that its principal part contains only the finite number of terms and its converse. That is, if its principal part contains only the finite number of parts, there was finite number of terms, then the corresponding singularity must be an pole. And similarly, in third one, we have to prove that z equal to a is an essential singularity of a function f whenever its principal part contains infinite number of terms and its converse part. Okay. So okay, so the next part is nothing but B1. In first part, we have proved that Z equal to A be an removable singularity whenever its principal part contains no term and its converse part. Now, let us suppose that Z equal to A be a pole of order M, is a pole of order M of a function F. Then, by the definition of pole, Z minus A to the power z minus a to the power m into f of z must be a removable singularity. That is, it has a removable singularity. Has a removable singularity, which is from the definition of pole. Removable singularity at a point z equal to a. Okay, so here we have taken z equal to a is a pole which is of order m, and we have to prove that its principal part contains some finite number of terms. So for that, let us consider z minus a to the power m into f of z. But in our given statement, f of z is nothing but series n running from minus infinity to infinity, a n z minus e to the power n. Just put that value. So it becomes z minus a to the power m into series n running from minus of infinity to plus infinity, a n into z minus a to the power n. Okay, let us take this z minus a to the power m in this sum. Then it becomes series n running from minus of infinity to plus infinity, a n z minus a to the power m plus n. In by first part, we know that if f of z is nothing but series n running from minus infinity to infinity, a n z minus a to the power n, and f of z has a removable singularity, then a n equal to 0 for each value of n which is less equal by minus 1. That is, there is no term in its principal part. Okay, now here z minus a to the power m into f of z has a removable singularity, and z minus a to the power m into f of z is nothing but series n running from minus infinity to infinity, a n z minus a to the power m plus n, which implies by part 1, that is by part a or part 1, an equal to 0 whenever n is less equal by minus 1, but here the power will be m plus 1 n. Therefore for all m plus n less equal by minus of 1, since the principal part contains the negative powers of z minus a. Okay, so when and negative power is possible whenever m plus n is less equal by minus 1. So for each an is equal to 0, sorry, an equal to 0 for each m plus n less equal by minus 1, and which is just by our part a. N equal to 0 for each value of m plus n less equal by minus 1, it implies that it is equal to 0 whenever n is less equal by minus of 1 minus of m. That is, it is less equal by minus of m plus 1. So an equal to 0 for all n less equal by minus of m plus 1, it implies that a of minus m is not equal to 0. So here a of minus m is not equal to 0, a of minus m is not equal to 0, and an equal to 0 for all n less equal by minus of m plus 1. Okay, it means that its principal part contains some finite number of terms, and that is we have to prove, and hence the required result. Okay, so if the given function has a pole of order m at a point z equal to a, then its principal part contains some finite number of terms, and that is this one. Okay, now we have to prove its converse part. That is, here just we have to assume that its principal part contains some finite number of terms, and we have to prove that it has a pole of order m. So let us consider conversely. Suppose a of minus m is non-zero and an is equal to 0 for all n less equal by minus of m plus 1. And now we have to prove that the given function f of z has a pole of order m at a point z equal to a. Now, as by Laurent series, f of z is nothing but series n running from minus of infinity to infinity, a n z minus a to the power n. But here by our supposition, a of minus m is not equal to 0 and a n is equal to 0 whenever n is less equal by minus of m plus 1. Therefore, this series running from n running from minus of m to plus infinity, a n z minus a to the power n. Okay. Now, so f of z is equal to this one. So actually f of z is now becomes, first term will be a of minus m z minus a to the power minus of m plus a of minus of m plus, sorry, a of minus of m minus 1, that is a of minus of m minus of 1 z minus of a to the power m minus of 1 minus of m minus of 1 plus up to so on a of minus 1 into z minus a to the power minus of a of minus 1 is possible whenever z minus a to the power minus 1 plus next term will be a naught plus a1 into z minus of a and plus up to so on. Okay. Now just multiply by both side by z minus a to the power plus m. Then we get z minus a to the power m into f of z is now becomes a of minus m. Z minus a to the power minus m into z minus a to the power m minus m plus m 0. Z minus a to the power 0 will be 1 plus a of minus m minus of 1 z minus e to the power minus of m plus m cancel minus of minus plus 1 z minus of e plus up to so on. Here a of minus 1 z minus a to the power m minus 1 z minus a to the power m minus 1 plus a naught into z minus a to the power m plus a1 sorry here a of minus 1 a1 into z minus a to the power m plus 1 and up to so on. Now, from this one, z minus a to the power m into f of z has a Lorentz series expansion, and this one is a Lorentz series expansion of a function z minus a to the power m into f of z. So, its a principal part contains now no terms. So, z minus a to the power m into f of z has a Laurent series expansion, Laurent series expansion, which does not contains the negative powers of z minus a, which does not contains the negative powers of z minus a, negative powers of z minus of a. Okay, as it does not contains the negative powers of z minus a, then by part a, if f of z, if the principal part of f of z does not contains any negative power of z minus a, then the corresponding singularity must be a removable singularity. As the principal part of z minus a to the power m into f of z does not contain the negative power of z minus a, which implies that z minus a to the power m into f of z has a removable singularity, has a removable singularity at a point z equal to a. Now by the definition of pole, whenever z minus a to the power m into f of z has a removable singularity at a point z equal to a, which implies that z equal to a is a pole of order m, pole of order m of a function m, and which is by the definition of pole. This one is by part 1 hour, that is part A. Okay. So by part A, this one has a removable singularity. As this one has a removable singularity, then by the definition of pole, it must has a pole of order m at a point z equal to a. For which function? Which is for the function f of z. Okay. कुणाल काही डाऊट यामध्ये?
No, sir.
Okay. Now the last part, which is nothing but for the essential singularity. Okay. So whenever z equal to a is an essential singularity of a function f, then we have to prove that its principal part contains infinitely many terms. That is infinitely many powers of z minus a. Okay. So C. Since the function f has an essential singularity at a point z equal to a, which implies f is, that is, which implies f has neither a removable singularity, neither a removable singularity nor a pole. At z equal to since it has a essential singularity, and by definition of essential singularity, the given function has neither a pole nor a removable singularity. So as here essential singularity, then f has neither a removable singularity nor a pole at a point z equal to a. But by the cases 1, part A and part B, okay, we have seen if the function has a removable singularity, then its principal part contains no term. If the function has a pole of order m at a point z equal to a, then its principal part contains some finite number of terms. And by the definition of removable singularity, pole and essential singularity, and by the part 1 and part 2, there is only one possibility for a essential singularity, and that one is nothing but it's a principal part contains infinite number of terms. Since for finite number of terms it is pole, for no terms it is removable singularity, then there is only one case which is nothing but there are infinitely many terms in its principal part, and that case is nothing but our essential singularity. Okay, so from statement A and B, from statement A and B, A and B, an is not equal to 0 for infinitely many integers, for infinitely many negative integers. That is an is equal, sorry, an is not equal to 0 for all n less equal to minus 1. That is, there are some infinite number of negative integers for which an is non-zero. It means its principal part contains infinite number of terms, and its converse part will also from this one. Okay, yes. In corollary, is there any doubt?
No, sir.
Yes, no. Okay, so now we will take some examples depending on this corollary and Lorentz series development. Before going towards the examples, we will see some results. First one, e to the power z. E to the power z is nothing but yes. What is e to the power x? It is nothing but 1 plus z square upon 2 factorial plus z cube upon 3 factorial. That is 1 plus z square upon 2 factorial plus z cube upon 3 factorial plus up to so on. And as function is analytic in whole complex plane, that is e to the power z is analytic in whole complex plane. So its modulus of z is finite. Okay. Now it can be written as series n running from 0 to infinity. First term will be 1, second will be z and its coefficient will be 1. So it is actually nothing but z to the power n divided by n factorial. As that 0 factorial will be 1, then it is nothing but z to the power 0 divided by 0 factorial, which is 1, plus z to the power 1 divided by 1 factorial. That one is nothing but z, and so on. So this will be a power series expansion of the function e to the power z. Now the second one, sin z. The polynomial sin z is nothing but it is z minus z cube divided by 3 factorial plus z raised to 5 divided by 5 factorial minus of z to the power 7 divided by 7 factorial plus up to so on. As it is again analytic in whole complex plane, then modulus of z is less than infinity. Again, it can be written as series n running from 0 to infinity. First term will be z, then it must be of the form z to the power some 2n plus 1 divided by 2n plus 1 factorial. As the plus and minus sign is alternating, then it is nothing but minus of 1 to the power, yeah. Okay, so actually this one is nothing but sin z is equal to series n running from 0 to infinity minus 1 to the power n z to the power 2n plus 1 divided by 2n plus 1 factorial whenever modulus of z is finite. Now the third one is nothing but cos z. Cos z is nothing but just it is a as we by the definition of differentiation. What is cos z?
1
Just
plus
here we have to take the derivative of this one. What is the derivative of z?
1. 1.
1 minus of 3z square divided by 3 factorial. 3 get cancelled. This one is nothing but z square divided by 2 factorial. Again plus z raised to 5 divided by 5 factorial. Its derivative 5 into z raised to 4 divided by 5 factorial. 5 you get cancelled. Then it is z raised to 4 divided by 4 factorial. Minus of z to the power 6 divided by 6 factorial and plus up to so on. So what is its power series expansion? Series n running from 0 to infinity minus of 1 to the power n. Since again here the plus and minus sign is alternate. Okay. So z to the power here 2, 4, 6. First will be taken as a 0. Then it is some power of multiple of
2n.
2n divided by 2n factorial. Whenever modulus of z is finite. Since cos z is again analytic in whole complex plane. Okay. Now the next one. Is sine hyperbolic z. Sine hyperbolic z. There is only difference of this alternating terms in sine hyperbolic and sine z. That is, in sine hyperbolic z, all the terms are positive. That is z plus z cube divided by 3 factorial plus z raised to 4 upon 5 factorial plus z raised to 7 divided by 7 factorial. So sine hyperbolic z is nothing but z plus z cube divided by 3 factorial plus z raised to 5 divided by 5 factorial plus z raised to 7 divided by 7 factorial and plus up to so on. So it is nothing but series n running from 0 to infinity z to the power 2n plus 1 divided by 2n plus 1 factorial whenever modulus of z is. Similarly, cos hyperbolic z is nothing but again it contains only the positive term. Then it is nothing but series n running from 0 to infinity z to the power 2n divided by 2n factorial. Sixth one, 1 upon 1 minus z. What is 1 upon 1 minus z? Which is nothing but 1 plus z square plus
Z square plus
z cube plus up to so on. And by the definition of singularity, as what z equal to 1 is the singular point of this function, then modulus of z must be
Mod z less
less
than
than
1.
1. Okay. So now it can be written as series n running from 0 to infinity. Just it is nothing but z to the power n. Similarly, 1 upon 1 plus z. Here we have alternating sign, that is 1 minus z plus z square minus of z cube plus up to so on. Again here minus 1 is its singularity, then modulus of z must be less than 1, and it is nothing but series n running from 0 to infinity. This one is nothing but minus 1 to the power n into z to the power n. Okay. Now 8th one. What is 1 minus z to the power minus of 2?
One plus 2z
Yes.
plus 3z square.
What is 1 minus z to the power minus 2? आवाज येते ना माझा?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is nothing but 1 minus 1 minus or plus.
Plus.
Or 1 minus z to the power minus 2, it is nothing but 1 plus 2z plus 3z square. Okay, so let us see. So it is nothing but 1 minus 2z plus 1 plus 2z plus 3z square plus 4z cube plus up to so on. Again z equal to 1 is a singular point, then it is its modulus will be less than 9th one. 1 minus z to the 1 plus z to the power minus 2. Again here we have to just take the alternating sign, plus 3z square minus of 4z cube plus up to so on z equal to -1 is a singular point, then its modulus will be less than 1. 10th one, log of 1 plus z. Yes, what is log 1 plus z? It is nothing but z minus z square divided by 2 plus z cube divided by 3 minus of z raised to 4 divided by 4. Okay, so z minus z square divided by 2 plus z cube divided by 3 minus of z raised to 4 divided by 4 plus up to so on. What is the singular point of this one? Z equal to
-1.
z equal to -1 is its singular point. Then modulus of z again less than 1. तुम्ही बोलत नाही आहेत का? तुमचा आवाज येत नाही मला. आता बोला तुम्ही.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Again, last one is nothing but log of 1 minus z. And for 1 minus z here, each term will be, that is each term of that this z, its coefficient will be -1. Then it is nothing but minus of z minus z square divided by 2 minus of z cube divided by 3 minus of z raised to 4 divided by 4 minus of z raised to 5 divided by 5 minus of so on. Again here mod z is less than 1, and here also modulus of z is less than 1. Okay, so these are the some functions and its power series expansion. Now see some examples. Find the Laurent series expansion and classify the singularities of the functions. So let us take the first one. F of z is equal to z into cos 1 by z. Since we know that Laurent series expansion is useful in finding the type of singularity. Okay, so first here, as f of z equal to z into cos 1 by z, then we have to find out its Laurent series expansion. And if we get Laurent series expansion, then by checking whether its principal part contains finite number of terms, infinite number of terms, or there is no term. And by this one, we will easily say the function has which type of singularity. Okay, so we know that z is a function, that is it is a polynomial of degree 1, and cos 1 by z has a polynomial which is same as our cos z is nothing but 1 minus z square divided by 2 factorial plus z raised to 4 divided by 4 factorial. And using this one, we have to find out cos 1 by z. Okay, so as here f of z equal to z into cos 1 by z, which is nothing but z into, we know that the power series expansion of cos z, which is nothing but series n running from 0 to infinity minus of 1 to the power n z to the power 2n divided by 2n factorial. But here instead of z, we have to use 1 by z. Then it becomes z into series n running from 0 to infinity minus of 1 to the power n 1 by z to the power 2n divided by 2n factorial. Okay, that is, this one is nothing but z into first term is nothing but 1 upon z, to the power 2n. N equal to 0, it means it is 1. 1 minus of. Second will be 1 upon 2n factorial. 2 factorial into 1 by z plus, sorry, here n is nothing but 1, 2 factorial and n equal to 1, then it is nothing but z square plus 1 upon 4 factorial z raised to 4 minus of 1 upon 6 factorial z raised to 6 plus up to so on. So multiply inside the bracket by z, then it becomes z minus 1 upon 2 factorial z get cancelled, it is nothing but single z plus 1 upon 4 factorial z cube minus 1 upon 6 factorial z raised to 5 plus up to so on. Now this one is nothing but z into cos 1 by z. Now what is the principal part of this function? That is singular part of function z into cos 1 by z is the singular part of z into cos 1 by z is this one. That is the singular part contains the coefficients of 1 by z, 1 by z square, 1 by z cube. So this one is nothing but that is 1 minus 2 factorial into z plus 1 upon 4 factorial into z cube minus 1 upon 6 factorial into z raised to 5 plus up to so on. Okay, so singular part of the function z into cos 1 by z contains infinite number of terms. Then by using this corollary, as the singular part of function f of z contains the infinite number of terms, then the corresponding singularity must be an essential singularity, which implies, as here z equal to 0 is a singularity of this function, since cos 1 by 0 is cos infinity and which is not defined. So z equal to 0 is a essential singularity of the function, essential singularity of function f equal to z into cos 1 upon z. Okay, so in this way we can check. Now the second example is nothing but f of z is equal to cos z minus 1 divided by z whenever modulus of z is finite. Yes, what is the singularity of this function f of z? Singular point, which is nothing but z equal to 0. So z equal to 0 is a singular point. Singular point. Now we have to check which type of singularity has this function f of z. Okay, now consider f of z is equal to cos z minus 1 divided by z. It can be written as cos z divided by z minus of 1 by z. 1 by z take common. We know that what is cos z? Cos z is nothing but 1 minus of z square divided by 2 factorial plus z raised to 4 divided by 4 factorial minus z raised to 6 divided by 6 factorial plus up to so on, and this minus of 1 by z as it is, which implies this one is nothing but 1 by z minus of z cancel, which is z upon 2 factorial plus z cube upon 4 factorial minus of z raised to 5 divided by 6 factorial plus up to so on, and minus of 1 by z. This minus 1 by z, 1 by z get cancelled. So it is nothing but minus of z divided by 2 factorial plus z cube divided by 4 factorial minus of z raised to 5 divided by 6 factorial plus up to so on. As here the principal part or singular part of f of z contains no term. That is, there is no power of function z minus 0 to the power some negative integer. So singular part of f of z, part of f of z contains no terms. As singular part of f of z contains no terms, then z equal to 0 is a removable singularity. Removable singularity of function f equal to cos z minus 1 divided by z. Okay, so in this way we can check a which type singularity of the function f. Okay, now there is one another method to check this one. That is f of z is nothing but cos z minus 1 divided by z. And we know that one there is one result. If f has an isolated singularity at a point z equal to a, then that isolated singularity becomes a removable whenever z minus limit z tending to a, z minus a into f of z will be equal to 0. So let us take limit z tending to a, z minus of a into f of z, which is equal to z minus of a into cos z minus 1 divided by z. Now here a is nothing but the singular point. As here z equal to 0 is a singular point, which implies limit z tending towards 0, z minus of 0 into f of z is nothing but z minus 0 into z minus 0 is z cos z minus of 1 divided by z. This and here limit is z tending towards z. Okay, now the z get cancelled, so it is nothing but limit z tending towards the point 0 cos z minus of 1. Now as limit is tending towards 0, then cos 0 is nothing but 1 minus 1, and which is equal to 0. As limit z tending towards the point 0, z minus 0 into f of z is equal to 0, then by that result z equal to 0 is a removable singularity. But this result will be useful only when the given function has a removable singularity. Okay. So if suppose there is one function, then we have to check whether it has a removable singularity or not, then we can use this result also. That is z minus that singular point, that is z minus a into f of z as limit z tending towards a. This one is tending towards the point 0. Then that corresponding singularity, that is corresponding isolated singularity, must be an removable singularity, otherwise it is not a removable. Okay. Now the next function, third one, f of z is nothing but e to the power z plus, sorry, power 1 plus z, e to the power z plus 1 by z. Now tell me, what is its singular part? Sorry, singularity. Here z equal to which point will be a singular point of this function? Whenever we will take z equal to 0, then it must have a singular point. So z equal to 0 is a singular point. Okay. Now tell me which type of singularity has this function f of z by using the Lorentz series expansion. Yes. It's a type of singularity here. E to the power z plus 1 by z can be written as e to the power z into e to the power 1 by z. And we know that what is the power series expansion for e to the power z. And same we have to use for e to the power 1 by z as also. Yes, it has a essential singularity since its principal part contains infinite number of terms. Okay. So let us see here. F of z is nothing but e to the power z plus 1 by z, which is equal to e to the power z into e to the power 1 by z. E to the power z is nothing but 1 plus z square divided by 2 factorial plus z cube divided by 3 factorial plus up to so on. E to the power 1 by z becomes 1 plus 1 by z plus 1 upon z square into 2 factorial plus 1 upon z cube into 3 factorial plus up to so on. So whenever we will take the multiplication of these two brackets, then it's a multiplication contains infinite number of terms of the powers of z, that is infinitely negative powers of z. Okay, so its principal part contains infinite number of terms. Okay, so here singular part contains infinite number of terms, which implies that z equal to 0 is an essential singularity. Essential singularity. Okay, so in this way we can easily solve the problems by using the Lorentz series expansion. Okay, now the next concept, which is nothing but a singularity at a point infinity. Okay, see definition first. Singularity at infinity. At infinity. Okay, that is at z equal to infinity. A function f of z has isolated singularity at z equal to infinity if the function f of 1 by z has isolated singularity at a point z equal to 0. Isolated singularity at z equal to 0. Okay, so if suppose there is one function f of z, then this function f of z has a isolated singularity at a point z equal to infinity if and only if the function f of 1 by z has a isolated singularity at a point z equal to 0. For example, we will take some particular example. Okay, example is not a proof, but this is it is true for all z, then it must be true for its any example. So if whenever we will take f of z equal to 0, then this function f of z has a isolated singularity at a point z equal to infinity if and only if f of 1 by z, f of z is z, then f of 1 by z will be 1 by z. So this function f of z has a isolated singularity at a point z equal to infinity if and only if this one has an isolated singularity at a point z equal to 0. Now, what is the type of, that is either this function f of 1 by z has either a isolated singularity or non-isolated singularity. As it is, as z equal to 0, it must have a isolated singularity, that is it is a simple pole. Since z equal to 0 is a pole of order 1, then it must be a simple pole. So the function f of 1 by z has a isolated singularity at a point z equal to 0. It means f of z equal to z has definitely an isolated singularity at a point z equal to infinity. Since f of infinity is nothing but infinity, and whenever f of infinity as limit z tending towards the point a, f of z is equal to infinity, then it must has a pole. Then by the definition of pole, this one has a pole, and which is type of isolated singularity. So this will be a definition of isolated singularity at a point infinity. So whenever we have to find out the type of singularity at a point z equal to infinity of a function f, then we have to first find out f of 1 by z, and from that one we have to check which type of singularity has the function f of 1 by z, and from corresponding to this we have to check for f of z. Whatever will be the type of singularity at f of 1 by z at a point z equal to 0, that one is nothing but the type of singularity of the function f of z at a z equal to infinity. Okay, now this is a definition for isolated singularity. Now there are three types of isolated singularity, that is pole, removable singularity, and essential singularity. Let us see this some important notes for this one. First one, z equal to infinity is a removable singularity of function f of z if z equal to 0 is a removable singularity of f of 1 by z. Okay, so if z equal to 0 is a removable singularity of f of 1 by z, then it is a removable singularity of function f of z at a point z equal to infinity. Second one, z equal to infinity is a pole if f of 1 by z has a pole at point z equal to 0. Similarly for essential singularity. Third one, z equal to infinity is an essential singularity. It's essential if f of 1 by z has a essential singularity. Essential singularity at a point z equal to 0. Okay, now we will take one example. For example, suppose f of z is equal to z square divided by z plus 1. Okay, now here we have to check the type of singularity at a point z equal to infinity. Find the type of singularity at z equal to infinity. First, we have to check whether it has isolated singularity or non-isolated singularity. And from the definition of singularity at a point z equal to infinity, here from f of z we have to find out the f of 1 by z. So here f of z is nothing but z square divided by z plus 1, which implies f of 1 by z is nothing but 1 upon z square divided by 1 upon z plus 1. So actually it is nothing but 1 upon z square is nothing but 1 by z square into 1 upon. This one is nothing but z plus 1 divided by z, means it is into z. So this z get cancelled. So it is nothing but 1 upon z into z plus 1. So f of 1 by z. Now we have to check the type of singularity at a point z equal to infinity. Then by the definition of type of singularity. Now at z equal to 0, this function f of 1 by z has a isolated singularity and which is a pole of order 1. So therefore z equal to 0 is a pole of order 1, that is a simple pole of the function f of 1 by z. Then by definition of singularity at a point z equal to infinity, z equal to infinity is a pole at z equal to infinity. So in this way we can check the types of singularity at a point z equal to infinity by finding out the f of 1 by z. Okay, so up to now any doubt? Okay. Now there is one definition, that one is nothing but residue of a function. Let us see what is the residue of a function f. Residue of function. Suppose that a function f has isolated singularity at a point z equal to a, has isolated singularity at point z equal to a, and there is some positive integer r, such that function f is analytic in deleted neighborhood of a. Analytic in, or it is analytic on the region, that is this one, mod z minus a less than n. Since by definition of isolated singularity, the given function must be analytic in the deleted neighborhood of a. Okay, so as it has an isolated singularity, then on this region, that is mod z minus a greater than 0 and less than r, the given function must be analytic. As it is analytic on this region, then this function must has a power series expansion in this region. Okay, so z minus, then the function f has a Laurent series expansion, that is power series, Laurent series expansion at a point z equal to a. That is, f of z is nothing but series n running from a minus of infinity to plus infinity an into z minus of a to the power n. For any z with 0 less than modulus of z minus a, which is less than r. That is, we have to check z from this region. Now, from the Laurent series expansion, whenever f of z is equal to n running from minus infinity to infinity, an z minus a to the power n, then an is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi I integral over the curve gamma f of w divided by w minus a to the power n plus 1 dw for all n. So for n equal to minus 1, this an becomes, which implies a of minus 1 is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi I integral over the curve gamma f of w divided by w minus a to the power n plus 1, which is minus of 1 plus 1 into dw for all n. Here there is no need to take for all n, since here we have taken some particular n equal to minus 1, which implies a minus 1 is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi I integral over the curve gamma f of w divided by w minus e to the power minus 1 plus 1, which is 0, 1 raised to 0 will be 1 into dw. So a of minus 1 is nothing but this one, 1 upon 2 pi I integral over the curve gamma f of w dw, and this coefficient a of minus 1, that is this value 1 upon 2 pi I integral over the curve gamma f of w dw is nothing but the residue of a function f at a point z equal to a. That is, if suppose we have to find out the residue of a function f at a point z equal to a, then just we have to find out the coefficient of 1 upon z minus a, since a minus 1 is nothing but the coefficient of z minus a. So the coefficient here a minus 1 is called residue of a function f at a point z equal to a, and is denoted by a residue of a function f at a point a, and which is equal to just a of minus 1. Either, if suppose there is a function f of z and it is possible to find out its Laurent series expansion, then just we have to find out its a of minus 1, that's coefficient of 1 upon z minus a. But if suppose there is one function f of z and it is not possible to find out its Laurent series expansion, then we have to find out the 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of z dz, since this one is again nothing but our a of minus 1, that is, it is nothing but coefficient of 1 upon z minus of. Okay, since from Laurent this series f of z is nothing but series running from minus infinity to infinity a n z minus a to the power 1. So a of minus 1 is nothing but z minus a to the power minus 1. So it is nothing but a of minus 1 into 1 upon z minus a. So a of minus 1 is nothing but just a coefficient of this 1 upon z minus a, and that one is we have to find out. Okay, and this one is easy from our Laurent series expansion. And if suppose it is not possible to find out its Laurent series expansion, then we have to find out this integral value, that is 1 upon 2 pi I integral over the curve gamma f of z dz. For example, let's take f of z is equal to e to the power 1 by z. That one is nothing but 1 plus 1 upon z into 1 factorial plus 1 upon z square into 2 factorial plus 1 upon z cube into 3 factorial and plus to so on. And here we have to find out the residue of a function f at a point z equal to 0. Since z equal to 0 is its here z equal to 0 is a singular point. Yeah. Okay. Then residue of a function f at a point 0 is nothing but a of minus 1. Now tell me what is a of minus 1 here? It is just a coefficient of 1 upon z minus 0, which is nothing but 1. Yes. Which implies 1 upon 2 pi I integral over the curve gamma e to the power 1 by z dz is nothing but 1. That is integration over the curve gamma e to the power 1 by z dz is equal to 2 pi I. It is from a of minus 1 is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi I integration over the curve gamma f of z dz. Okay. Now suppose there is one more function f of z and which is equal to 1 by z, which implies z equal to 0 is a isolated singular point and which is pole of order 1. So it is z equal to 0 is a simple pole. So now residue of a function f at a point 0 is what? A of minus 1 is its value. Again it is 1. So in this way we can find out the residues. Okay.